An important part of this informed consent process is to inform you about the possible consequences, the good as well as the bad. While researchers and the government try to protect you as much as possible, there are still some inherent risks. You should only sign up for the study when you are fully aware of the possible outcomes and decide that the positive outweighs the negative. So let's start with the negative outcomes. As you learned before, your genome contains your genes, and some mutations, which are changes in certain genes, predispose you for certain diseases.
We distinguish three different types of risks. 1. Knowledge about your genome might affect you personally. 2. Knowledge about your genome might have consequences for your family. 3. Risks related to discrimination.
We go through them one by one. There is no right or wrong answer. You will need to decide how you feel about those risks, and we encourage you to think about them, but also to discuss it with your friends or family. First, think about the personal consequences. Your genome might reveal information about diseases that you will or might get in the future. Do you want to know what the future holds for you? Would you change your lifestyle if you'd know that you might get sick in 10 years? There are diseases for which there is a preventive treatment. For the others, we don't have a treatment. But research advances, and for diseases that are untreatable today, there might be a treatment in the future. Does the fact if a disease is treatable influence your decision to get informed about the genetic mutation?
Genome is not only a personal matter. Your genome holds a lot of information about your family as well. Genes are hereditary. You share about 50% with your children. Now, how do you feel about the following situation? You learn about a mutation which does not change anything for you but might harm your sister. Would you tell her? Would she want to know? And if she does not want to know about her genetic risks, how would your knowledge affect the relationship?
Family is not only your parents, aunts, uncles, and siblings, but also children. You might already have a child, or you might want to have children in the future. Would knowledge about your risk of getting sick change your decision to have children? You pass 50% of your genes on to your children. There are different types of diseases. Some affect you if you have only one copy of a faulty gene. This is called a dominant disease. Other mutations only cause a disease if both copies of the gene have that mutation. This is called recessive. If you would learn that you are a carrier of a recessive disease, would your partner get tested for this disease? How would it change your life? There is the option for in vitro fertilization to avoid transmitting genetic diseases, but currently it is illegal in Switzerland to do pre-implantation diagnostics. This whole genome sequencing study is state-funded. Every effort is made to securely store the data and to anonymize the data so it can't be connected to you. However, it is genetic information, so even with all precautions, there is the risk that you are identifiable. Researchers, however, are obliged to not make an effort to identify you. All these efforts to protect the data and to anonymize it is made to protect you from discrimination. We have seen in the past, people were discriminated for all sorts of unbelievable reasons. Today, everyone in Switzerland has the right and the obligation for a basic health insurance, no matter what diseases you have or might get. The insurance is not provided by the state, but by private companies. We can't assure that in the future people are not asked to pay according to their genetic risk factors. We can't look in the future, so there is no way of knowing if a disease is treatable or curable in the future. We also don't know if the state and the health coverage that we know here will look the same in 20, 50, or 100 years. While you have access to health insurance and we assume that Switzerland is stable and will not allow discrimination based on DNA, there is still a risk that the situation changes and your children or grandchildren may face hurdles based on your genomic information.